It's really hot, so hopefully this won't go for too long or I'm gonna look like a sweaty mess, and I don't want to turn the fan on because I don't want to wreck the audio. I've got my iced coffee. Let's do this. Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, Sash Reads, and this is my NetGalley November TBR. Whoop whoop. All right, yes, NetGalley November is back. The lovely Nicole has asked me to be a co-host again. I am so bloody thankful to her and grateful to the whole NetGalley November community. We are looking at running our 24-hour sprint train again, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, let's get started. I will link all the info and all the co-hosts down below, so make sure you have a look down there, subscribe to everyone, check out the Discord. There is no like competition based like Arc August. This time it's just, we're just trying to get to that 80% mark for your NetGalley score. I have almost all the books here because I have left them that long that they have been published, all right, which is so bad. But the first book I think just came out, so I haven't got it yet. I am kind of on a book buying ban though. I have asked for it from the library, but NetGalley Reader is telling me I've got 52 days remaining. So if I can't get it from the library soon, I will just read on here. But that is Readathon by C.G. Drews. This is this an adult debut? Maybe not, but no, it's not. But it's another gothic queer YA horror, and I'm so excited. I still have yet to finish Don't Let the Forest In, but I'm very excited to read Readathon. So it says this is a gorgeously gothic queer YA horror and dark romance about an inherited estate, murderous relatives, and a garden with a taste for blood. So you've got Evander has lived like a ghost in the forgotten corners of the Readathon estate ever since he was taken in by his reclusive billionaire guardian. He can never leave. He can never go in the gardens, and he can never be alone with Laurie, the boy who tried to kill him 7 years ago. But when his guardian is murdered and Evander inherits Readathon, Laurie may be the only one who can help him find the killer. As dark secrets unravel, moss bleeds through the walls, poisonous mushrooms flourish beneath the floorboards, and Evander must discover what's really inherited before Readathon's garden demands to be fed. That sounds so spooky. I'm very excited. And even though November is after Halloween, I think November is still a good time to read the spooky books, slowly going into the Christmas season. So I'm very excited to read this. Next, we've got The Floral Arrangement by Elizabeth Luley. This is a sapphic romance in a small town. I think it's book number 2 in her small town series. I think it's actually number 3, I'm sorry. Book number 1 was Not Just Gal Pals. I got an arc of this. I loved it so much. I had so much fun with this. Book number 2 was Novel Problems. I've yet to read this, but I've heard very good things about it. And then book number 3 is The Floral Arrangement. And I'm very excited to get to this. I met Elizabeth Luley at Rare. She was such an amazing being. I love her with all my might. So I'm very excited to get to this one. So this one is about Roz, who has dedicated her life to a high-powered consulting career. That is until she's passed over for a promotion and learns that Red Tractor Farm, a place close to her heart, is on the brink of financial ruin. Fuming and ready for a change, Roz leaves her corporate life behind and buys a struggling business. But to keep the farm afloat, she needs to find an investor willing to fund some crucial changes and get rid of those dreadful flower fields. When Olivia Mitchell discovers the farm's new owner's plans to stop supplying flowers to her beloved flower shop, jeopardizing everything she's worked so hard to build, she's outraged. She's even more shocked to find out the new owner is Roz, the stunning but infuriating woman she met at a lesbian bar 6 months ago. When a potential investor mistakenly assumes Olivia is Roz's girlfriend, the two play along, each hoping to further their own agenda. But as sparks fly and they begin to wonder, just how fake is this blossoming relationship? There's like rivals to lovers, fake dating, rom-com. I'm so excited. Next, we have The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Qureshi. This is a super cozy fantasy, I believe, about Saphira, who opens her own cafe for customers with pet baby dragons, but she's not expecting it to be quite so hard to keep the fires burning. But her young dragon patrons keep incinerating the furniture, which means selling coffee isn't covering her costs. Local heartthrob Aiden is a gardener, though his disobedient baby dragon is a major distraction from his beloved plans. However, Saphira's cafe gives him an idea. He'll ask Saphira to train his dragon and pay her enough to keep the cafe afloat. They know they're the answer to each other's problems, but happy-go-lucky Saphira and gorgeous but grumpy Aiden couldn't be more different. Can they find a way to work together and maybe even ignite some fire of their own? Oh my god, that sounds so cute! So excited to get to this. It's quite short. It's just over 300 pages, but I have a feeling I'm going to love it. And I believe the sequel is already out. Baby Dragon Bakery, I think is what it's called. And that sounds even cuter. Also, if you've seen some of these books on my TBR before, no you didn't, mind your business. Thank you. Moonlight and Dust by Jasmine McGoffey. This is about Zila. She's always been a good girl. Nothing like her rebellious big sister, Nick. But after Nick has an accident that leaves her hospitalized, Zila has to find a way to navigate life and high school without Nick's guiding light. So determined to fit in, Zila seeks out the secrets of her school's after-hours party scene and discovers moon dust, a sparkling elixir with magical properties. Could this have something to do with Nick's accident? To find out, Zila must plunge further into a world of moonlit parties and take out-of-character risks. I am very excited for this. I believe there's like superpowers involved and it's written by a person from the Torres Strait Island. I believe it's set in Cairns and I'm very excited. Next, we've got The God and the Gwisin by Sophie Kim. This is the sequel to The God and the Gumiho, which I read last year and I absolutely loved. The cliffhanger at the end was crazy, so I'm very excited to get into the sequel and find out what happened to some of my beloved characters. In the swoony sequel to The God and the Gumiho, a trickster god must work with his reincarnated lost love to solve his brother's murder on board a luxury underworld cruise ship. Excuse me? I don't think I really want to go into too much because it is a sequel, but let me just tell you, I'm very excited for this. And I believe I listened to the audio last time, so I'm going to try and get the audio for this one as well because I loved the narrators for that one. Next, we've got Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is the Fairy Loot edition. I believe this was on my NetGalley November TBR last year too. And I haven't got to it yet because I'm slack AF. I know I did start it, but I think I'm going to try and find the audio for it because I just couldn't get into the writing. I think November last year was not a good month for me, unfortunately. So I am very grateful that Nicole asked me back. But this is about, let me try and find it. So this is about Ray, who is, I think she's dying from cancer, right? She seizes a second chance at living, a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. She wakes in a castle on the edge of a hellish chasm in a kingdom on the brink of war. Home to dangerous monsters, scheming courtiers, and her favorite fictional character, the once and forever Emperor, he's impossibly alluring, as only fiction he can be. And in this fantasy world, she discovers she's not the heroine, but the villainess in the Emperor's tale. So be it. The wicked are better dressed with better one-liners, even if they're doomed to bad ends. She assembles the widely disparate villains of the story under her evil leadership, plotting to change their fate. But as the body count rises and the Emperor's fury increases, it seems Ray and her allies may not survive to see the final page. That sounds so good. I love that concept of going into your favorite book but becoming the villain character and not your favorite hero character. And she is right. The villains do have better one-liners. Very excited to get to this again. Next, I've got Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I've got the deluxe edition on NetGalley, so I'm going to have to read the bonus chapters on there, but this is my Fairy Loot edition, which I believe I did meet Elizabeth Helen at Babe. I see, how cute is that? So this is, I don't know who those two are, but I'm sure I'll find out. And then I've got, oh, that's a couple of them as well. But I believe this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's also White Shoes. Let's have a look. 4 handsome fae princes, 1 awkward bookworm, an enchanted veil, a beastly curse to break. So you've got Rosalina, who lives her life in Orca Cove as quietly as she can. When her father turns up missing, Rosie goes after him and finds herself in the enchanted veil, the land of the fae. When Rosie locates her father, she discovers that he's been imprisoned and Rosie has no choice but to make a deal with 4 fae princes to take her place. So pretty much Beauty and the Beast. If the princes can find their mate, they will break their curse and free their realm. Rosie is determined to help them, but The only problem is the more time she spends with the princes, the more she's convinced that she's the one they're all meant to be with. So that sounds really good. That sounds super spicy. I'm very excited for this. I've heard great things about it. So yeah, let's hurry up and read it. Next, we've got In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. This is one I'm going to have to read physically. I tried the audio. I couldn't get into the audio, which sucks so bad, but it is okay. This is inspired by The Adventures of Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi and the Swiss Family Robinson. So In the Lives of Puppets is a masterful and heartfelt fantasy adventure. Here, even a family assembled from spare parts might become whole. I really enjoyed House at Cerulean Sea. Did not enjoy Wolf Song. I do know that he does found family very well. I love that about this person's writing. Let's hope I like the found family in this one as well. Oh, this was gifted to me by Ren. Thank you, baby. Oh, I love you, Ren. Anyway, welcome to the heart of a peculiar forest and the beginning of an extraordinary journey. In a small home built into the branches of a tree lives a human named Victor and 3 robots. These are a pleasantly sadistic nurse machine, a small vacuum desperate for love and attention, and a fatherly mentor android named Giovanni Lawson. Together they're a family, hidden and safe. Then Vic salvages an unfamiliar android labeled Hap. He learns that Hap and Geo share a dark past where they hunted humans? Interesting. And Hap unwittingly gives away Geo's location. Before they know it, robots from Geo's former life arrive to capture and return the android to his old laboratory in the City of Electric Dreams. The rest of the unconventional family must travel across an unforgiving and otherworldly country to rescue Geo from decommissioning. Or worse, reprogramming. Dun dun dun! Along the way, Vic must decide if he can handle his feelings for Hap, even if they come with strings attached. Is Hap a robot? Yeah, Hap's an android. I'm guessing Vic's a human. I don't know how I feel about that. Is there going to be romance between a robot and a human? I don't know if I like that. Anyway, one of my most recent books that's come in is Ghosted by Amy Hutton. Look at the cute spreadsheets. I believe Amy Hutton's Australian, which is very exciting if she is. But it's been 2 years since professional ghost whisperer Holly Daniels ghosted Callum Jeffries, successful paranormal podcast host, unsuccessful boyfriend. So when he reaches out asking for her help investigating the infamous East Mill haunted house, Holly is hesitant to get involved, despite his infuriating charm. But Holly's curiosity gets the better of her, and when they arrive in East Mill and take up adjoining rooms at a rundown bed and breakfast, something in the air stirs up old feelings. If only the local ghost would give her some peace and quiet to work out what those feelings are. That sounds so good. I'm very excited to get to this, and I think because I pre-ordered this and I filled out a form over at Atria, they sent me a overlay of these two. Look at how cute pajamas. The ghosts. It is definitely still spooky season, so I think I'll definitely read this around the start of November. Next, we've got I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me by Jamison Shea. I have this out at the library right now. I think I was supposed to read it back in August, I think, for ARC August, and I did. It looks I got to page 42, but then I put it down. But that is okay. Was it August or was it September? Maybe it was September for Mystic Readathon. I think maybe. Either way, this is about Laura, who lives in the cutthroat world of ballet, even though she's always going to be an outsider, no matter how brilliant she is. Tired of being overlooked, she ventures deep into the catacombs beneath Paris, where she finds a pulsing blood river that offers to change her fortunes forever. But once she enters into the deadly pact, how can she distinguish her desire from the primordial presence running through her veins? Soon, Laura is faced with the ultimate choice: break herself for a world that will never love her back, or succumb to the darkness that wants her as she is, monstrous heart and all. There will be blood. Sounds so good. This is one of Atia's favorite books, and I am very excited to read it. So yes. Okie dokie. So the next 3 books, one is a NetGalley arc, but the 2 others are not. But I am going to a bookish event at the end of November, where it's just these 3 authors chatting for an hour at a bookshop. Very excited for that, but I thought, hey, I should probably read these books that they've written. So the first one is A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. This is the Pretty Straight Edges one. So this is the start to a slow burn romantasy series. It follows a fated pair who are thrust in opposing factions of a violent class war. I love that cover so much. I love Stacey McEwen's reels and TikToks. She is such a character. She is pretty, like, so down to earth. I'm very excited to meet her. This is about Nina Harrow and Patrick Coulson, who are only 12 years old when they are whisked from the disenfranchised mining towns to dazzling Bellavia City to be tested for magical abilities. Nina's lifelong dream is to become an artisan, a powerful elemental mage who fulfills the city's grand ambitions, while Patrick wants only to return to his family of craftsmen. Together they discover a devastating secret. Artisans aren't born, but chosen. With this information, they take their future into their own hands. Patrick departs for home, while Nina finds her place as one of the rarest, most coveted types of artisan. When a craftsman revolution ignites years later, Nina is captured by Patrick's rebel group, and despite the years, he hasn't forgotten her. In fact, he needs her help for a mission that could shift the tides against Bellavia City, which she reluctantly accepts, battling the sparks between them. But when Nina's first love reappears, asking her to betray Patrick for the artisans, she faces an impossible choice that will determine the fate of their world. That sounds so good! I've had so many good things about this. I'm very excited to get to this before I meet her. Next author that's going to be there, who is actually Stacey McEwen's bestie, and that's Hannah Nicole Mayer, Assistant to the Villain. This sounds so good. I think it's like very funny and like doesn't take itself so seriously. So you've got Evie Sage, where she's got an ailing father and younger sister to support. Her employment status isn't just important, it's vital. So when a mishap with Readathon's most infamous villain results in a job offer, naturally she says yes. No job is perfect, of course, but even less so when you develop a teensy crush on your terrifying, temperamental, and undeniably hot boss. Don't find evil so attractive, Evie. But just when she's getting used to severed head suspended from the ceiling and the odd squish of an errant eyeball beneath her heel, Evie suspects this dungeon has a huge rat, and not just the literal kind. Because something rotten is growing in the kingdom of Readathon, and someone wants to take the villain and his entire nefarious empire out. Now, Evie must not only resist drooling over her boss, but also figure out exactly who is sabotaging his work and ensure he makes them pay. After all, a good job is hard to find. That sounds so much fun, and it's literally like 350 pages, so I think I'll be able to smash that out. And yes, I think there's like 3 more books have come out since then, and I think the second book's like Accomplice, and the third one, I can't remember, but like I feel like it might be a slow burn, who knows. Either way, I'm excited. And last but not least, we've got The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. She's also going to be at that author talk. I'm very excited. She's so pretty. She's so pretty, guys. I don't know if she has a photo in here, but her, oh, Liv gifted this to me. Thanks, Livy. I'll put her profile picture here. I know, she's just so pretty. I think I'm gonna friggin' like, not talk to her. I'm gonna be mute when I see her because I'll just be like so like gobsmacked by her beauty. Anyway, this is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series. You've got Diana made a deal with Caden many centuries ago to save her dying sister. And Caden is a monster far worse than any nightmare. Locked in servitude to him, she is forced to hunt down an ancient relic held by her most dangerous enemies, an army led by Sam Keel, the World Ender. After the Gods' War, Sam Keel hid from everything, denying his crown and deserting his people. Now, an attack on those he loves sent him back to the realm he never wished to return to, and into the sights of an enemy he had hoped to forget. With every world at stake, Diana and Sam Keel are forced to set aside their animosity and work together before all is lost. What? This is a chunky boy. It's almost 600 pages, but that is okay. I'm very excited to read these books and meet these authors. Okie dokie. So those are some of the books on my NetGalley TBR. I do have a lot more than that. Let's have a look at my starting percentage, shall we? I'm currently at 45% for my feedback ratio. The goal is to get to 80. Maybe I'll get to 80 with all these books. Who knows? Yeah, let me know what's your feedback ratio right now as of watching this video. And if you don't have a NetGalley account, but you do still want to comment, pop a little ghosty for ghosted in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be my friend, you can add me on Goodreads, Instagram, Storygraph, and TikTok. It's all at Sash Reads, except for TikTok, it's got 2 S's on the end. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos by me. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye!